What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to the latest Liverpool transfer news, and I have some sensational news to tell you guys. The Bild newspaper is reporting that Liverpool are among several clubs negotiating with Kai Havertz right now for a possible future transfer. So we will take a look at what Kai Havertz could bring to Liverpool, what are his best skills, assets, and also the Bild newspaper, the German newspaper, is reporting that Liverpool are negotiating a 130 million euro transfer for the player for the end of the season, and I'm just really excited about this news because Kai Havertz is exactly the player that we need. Last season he scored 20 goals as just a 20-year-old and set up 7 assists as well. This season he doesn't have as impressive of a campaign so far. He has 3 goals and 1 assist in his 16 appearances for Bayer Leverkusen. And according to the newspaper, there are actually 7 clubs negotiating with Bayer Leverkusen and with Kai Havertz as agent and representatives. I think that Kai Havertz was and is open to a move abroad because he actually said that he felt capable of being able to play in either the Premier League or La Liga, and the clubs that are interested in him, you might ask, are Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester United, Manchester City, Bayern Munich, Barcelona and Real Madrid. Wow, what a list of clubs. Almost every big club are interested in Kai Havertz. He's the next big goal-scoring midfielder talent. And also he said recently, I think I've picked up enough international experience at Leverkusen. I know the rhythm of these international matches and I'm confident that I can go abroad at any moment and play at clubs outside of Germany. For the moment, I want to have a good season. Afterwards, we will see. And of course, Kai Havertz is already a Germany international. He's playing for the German national team. Also, he's playing in the Champions League for Bayer Leverkusen, who recently won 2-0 away in Russia, I think against Moscow. And I think Leverkusen is having a decent season. Their start of the season was much better. Recently they have tailed off in the Bundesliga. They lost quite a few games. So I think Leverkusen is going nowhere, and Kai Havertz wants to really maximize his potential by playing at a bigger club than Leverkusen. And I think he would suit the Premier League perfectly because he has a very strong physical attributes, but he also is very clever as a player. And he is a creative player. He is 2-footed, so he can shoot with either his left foot, his right foot. He's standing at 6'1" tall, and he's excellent on the ball. And of course he has an eye for goal. I mean, scoring 20 goals in last season as a 20-year-old. I can't stress that enough, how amazing that is. And also he already has top level talent, but his potential is world class. So his highest potential is probably up there with the best midfielders in the world. And I think if there is a manager who can nurture that talent and bring that through, it's Jurgen Klopp. Of course, there is still a big question mark over Naby Keita, and we have Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain as that out-and-out attacking midfielder who can score goals and provide assists. But I think we need more. I think we need to find the next big talent, because at the moment Kai Havertz wouldn't cost 100 or 150 million pounds. He would be probably available for like 70 million pounds. But if he goes to a big club and shines, then his value will skyrocket. He already played for the German national team 7 times. He already scored once for the German national team as well. And of course Liverpool can pay big money. Some of you guys said that we wouldn't spend 100 million pounds on Jadon Sancho, but I think we would. We spent 75 million pounds on Virgil van Dijk, and also we spent about around 70 million pounds on Alisson, who was the most expensive goalkeeper at the time. Van Dijk was the most expensive defender at the time when we signed him. So why not spend another 70 million on Kai Havertz? Because Liverpool just spent 1.3 million pounds, which is absolutely nothing in terms of where Liverpool are in the transfer market in 2019 in the summer. And also we got about 40 million pounds from player sales. So Liverpool are, and in terms of net spend, at a profit in the transfer market if you just count the summer transfer window. So I think what Liverpool will do is spend big. Either in the January transfer window or next summer. I don't think Leverkusen would sell Kai Havertz in the January transfer window because that would really disrupt their season, and also Leverkusen would probably want to finish in the Champions League places again, and they also want to go through to the Champions League knockout stages. And I think with Kai Havertz they have a much better chance to do that. And then in the summer, when they get the money for Kai Havertz, they can reinvest that into the squad and make it even stronger. And Havertz offers a lot of things. He offers creativity, he offers goals, he offers assists, and he offers dribbling from central areas. Much like Naby Keita and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. The big question is, where would Kai Havertz fit into this side? But I think we need to look at it long term. Now Henderson and James Milner are playing as the midfielders sometimes, who have a job to do in the final third, who have attacking responsibilities. And I think both players are very limited when it comes to beating players, when it comes to flair, when it comes to providing assists and scoring goals. Both Henderson and James Milner very rarely score a goal or get an assist. I think we need to target players who can do both, and Naby Keita and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain can already do that, but I think we need more, and we will phase out James Milner in the next 1 or 2 years, I'm pretty certain. We will probably sell Henderson in the next 3 or 4 years. I don't really want to sell him right now. I think he's still a very good player, Liverpool's captain. But we need to look at this long term, and Kai Havertz could come into this side and play without a lot of pressure. He wouldn't start every week. He can wait in the wings, learn how Liverpool play, what the tactical responsibilities he will have, and then we can unleash him properly next season or the season after next season. Remember when we signed Fabinho, he didn't play for the first 6 months, hardly any games, and then he hit the ground running in the Premier League. So something similar can happen to Kai Havertz. So that's why I would actually prefer if we signed him in the January transfer window. But I don't think Leverkusen would let him go. But we will watch this space and I will keep you updated on the Kai Havertz transfer situation. Last night's Napoli game also showed that Liverpool probably need to sign a fullback. Klein will come back from his injury probably in January. The question is, will he want to stay at Liverpool and play a bit part low role? We don't have a proper replacement for Trent Alexander-Arnold or Andy Robertson. Last night Henderson played right back when Trent was pushed further forward, and before that Gomez was pushed further forward. But Gomez is not an attacking right back. He's a very defensive right back, and when you need your fullbacks to be very attacking, very creative, Joe Gomez is just lacking in that department. I think Joe Gomez is a centre back, and it showed against Napoli how limited Joe Gomez is against a low block team. And most teams that Liverpool are coming up against nowadays are those kind of teams who park the bus and just sit back and soak up the pressure. And Napoli was very negative in the second half. And what is very concerning is Jurgen Klopp's comments on Fabinho's injury. Jurgen Klopp said, "I don't want to say what I expect. It's early and we all hope it's not too serious, but it's pretty painful, and in an area you don't want to have pain, around the ankle." And the Daily Mail's Dominic King, journalist, said that Fabinho left Anfield with ankle in a protective boot, and he will undergo a scan today or tomorrow. And Jurgen Klopp, of course, really hopes it's not serious, because Fabinho is an absolutely crucial player for Liverpool. It would be as big a blow to Liverpool's title hopes as Laporte getting injured for Manchester City, because we just don't have a proper replacement for Fabinho. And Jurgen Klopp's tone and voice suggested that the medical checks might not be too positive. If Fabinho misses 2 or 3 months of the season, Liverpool could really struggle, and we already are struggling a little bit with clean sheets. Liverpool broke an unwanted clean sheet record last night. Liverpool haven't kept a clean sheet in 11 games in a row, which hasn't happened to Liverpool since 1998. So in the last century, and that says a lot about Liverpool's defensive frailties this season. And Van Dijk came out and commented on last night's incident where Napoli scored a goal after Mertens very clearly fouling Van Dijk, elbowing him in the hip, and the referee and VAR didn't give a foul. So this is what Van Dijk, the actual player in the incident, said. I won the ball and I don't think he wanted to challenge for the ball, Mertens. He touched me, I think it is a foul. The referee, I think, didn't have his best day today. That's what it is. And yeah, I'm not going down for no reason. It was a foul. Ancelotti, the Napoli manager, also spoke very highly of Liverpool. He said, Liverpool are an awesome team, a fantastic team, and I knew we would play well. I was convinced we would play well. Well, in my opinion, Napoli didn't play well. They played okay in the first half, and in the second half, they did nothing but defend and try to hit Liverpool on the counter-attack, but Liverpool pushed Napoli back so far that they didn't really have any counter-attacks. Alisson could have been in his pyjamas. He didn't have anything to do in the second half. And also Ancelotti said, you will suffer at times against Liverpool, and I knew we would create problems for them, perhaps because of the way we play. But just because you play a great game against a team like Liverpool doesn't mean you necessarily get a result. Maybe the game wasn't aesthetically pleasing, but we were clear-minded and solid. Our aim wasn't to put in a fantastic performance. Our objective was to get through to the next round, and we are a point nearer. We showed great character and mentality. Ultimately, Liverpool didn't deserve to lose this evening. I think Liverpool's worries, Liverpool's problems were very clear. We missed Trent Alexander-Arnold and his crossing ability, and overall his general attacking play on the right hand side. Joe Gomez is just not that type of player. And also we missed Fabinho very badly. When Wijnaldum came on for Fabinho, it was Henderson, Milner and Wijnaldum, and that's a very uncreative midfield, and they couldn't create anything. Trent also came on in the second half, but I think the most important change was Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain coming on. He completely changed the game, and his introduction and also switching Henderson to right back added much more dynamism into the Liverpool side. But it wasn't enough ultimately to secure victory, because Napoli defended really well, and ultimately they probably deserved the point in the end. And Alisson, Liverpool's current first choice goalkeeper, has actually revealed that when he was leaving Roma, he could have gone to Napoli. This is what he said: Napoli tried to bid for me, the president came to me, but if I went to Naples from Rome, I was going to put myself in a very tough situation in Italy. It's not an official derby, Napoli-Roma, but there's a big rivalry between the teams. I admire Napoli a lot. They have a top squad, and it's always hard to play against them, especially when they are at home. But I was committed to joining Liverpool. I think overall he's right. Liverpool was always the best choice. But if Liverpool didn't come in for Alisson, maybe he could have joined Napoli. And for example, Manolas went to Napoli from Roma, and the Roma fans probably hate him for that. So yeah, there is big rivalry between the big clubs in Italy, and I'm just really glad that Jurgen Klopp decided to sign Alisson, because honestly it was one of the most important and best transfers that Liverpool have made in the past 20-30 years. And Tammy Abraham, the Chelsea striker who is on fire this season, is one of the top scorers in the Premier League, has actually admitted that he's studying Firmino and other top strikers in Europe to try to emulate them. And this is what he said: for me, in my spare time, I go on YouTube and watch all the best strikers in the world play in this competition, stealing their ideas and adding it to my game. I watch so many players: Harry Kane, Aguero, Firmino. These are the Premier League strikers, obviously, but also Lewandowski and all sorts of, and players who have played in the Champions League before. And it's definitely not a bad thing that Abraham looks up to Firmino. I think Firmino is one of the most complete strikers, and he's just brilliant. He was actually unlucky not to score against Napoli when Koulibaly cleared his shot off the line. But I think overall, Tammy Abraham is on his way to be one of the top strikers in the Premier League. And it's very refreshing to see actually that Chelsea are finally giving chance to some of their most talented young players instead of just signing the next big superstar. So many young players just fell to the wayside because Chelsea didn't give them a chance. Young players need to play football every week, and that's what Mason Mount, Tammy Abraham, Reece James and other really talented young players are doing at Chelsea. And Frank Lampard already has his clear identity on the playing style of Chelsea, so Arsenal fans must be scratching their heads what Unai Emery has been doing in the last 1.5 years, because Frank Lampard in just a few short months have Chelsea playing in a completely different way, in a very, very exciting way. They are actually really fun to watch, and that's the first for a long time at Chelsea, because they weren't always this attacking exciting team to watch under Sarri, under previous managers, Antonio Conte. Chelsea were probably just defending and hitting teams on the counter-attack with Eden Hazard's pace. So it's a very welcome change what Frank Lampard has done at Chelsea. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. See you later, guys. Goodbye.